Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now today is another episode of League Discussion. This is the series where I take a topic, rip it apart with my own opinions and experiences and encourage you guys to join in the conversation in the comments section below. Now today's video is all about maining a role and champions, as it's probably the most common question I actually get is, should I main this? Is this good to main? Or when, or how do I actually find a main champion or role? So we're going to be covering that, as obviously, like I said, it's the most popular thing I'd probably get asked. And on the screen right now, you're either watching some footage or you're watching my lovely face, depending if I could get the footage to work. So I am wanting to kind of do more just gameplay in the background of these videos. People tend to enjoy it a bit more, gives you something to look at, as you know, it's just, I think, a little bit better when it's for a discussion about League. So let's get started, I guess. So maining a role is something I want to come out straight to the bat, is probably the most personal thing in League of Legends. Everybody runs the same runes. Like, if you're optimizing yourself, everybody runs the same runes, everybody runs the same masteries, the same item builds. Everything is pretty much the same. Obviously, a couple things are different. Playstyle is different. Your skill level is different. But one of the biggest personal things that you actually can make different is your champion pool. Your champions that you like to play, or your main one champion. So the first bit of advice I want to kind of give you today is, if someone tells you to main that champion, don't listen to that advice. Go with what you want to play, what you enjoy, what you think you can do well on, and don't listen to any other, like I'm going to say this, it sounds really big-headed, but don't listen to any other YouTuber that tells you to main a certain champion, because they'll be biased towards that champion, and that may not necessarily be a good thing for you. Sure, go try it out, see if you like it, but don't base all of what you should main on other people's opinions. Have your own opinions, especially around maining stuff. So that out of the way is pretty much the biggest answer that I can give, is play what you enjoy. Now, there are different levels of what I'd kind of say of, you know, you got to be smart about it. So sure, you might enjoy, say, Vayne. Vayne might be your favorite champion to play in League of Legends, but then you have to kind of be a bit smart. So do you win a lot with her? Do you carry a lot with her? Do you do well on her? And if the answer is no to a couple of these questions, then maybe it's not a great idea to main this champion. But this is where, as an individual, you have to look at League of Legends as a game and say, what do I want out of League of Legends? Do I want to have fun, or do I want to get, you know, have fun and be higher rated? If you have any aspirations of being higher rated, this is when you're going to have to look at your champion pool and go, okay, I enjoy this champion, but I'm not actually very good with it, or I enjoy this champion, but I just don't win with it. This is where you need to adapt your champion pool, in my opinion, to kind of basically play champions that you know you can win on. And also, obviously, have fun with these champions. Again, a big example that I can give is a personal example. So a champion that I really, really, really enjoy is Rengar. You know, the logo in the past couple of years has been based after Rengar. Obviously, yeah, we have the new Lion one nowadays, but again, that's loosely based after Rengar. I love that champion to bits. But what I've found is I'm not very good at winning on him. I can get fed pretty much every game I play him. I can go pure damage, either AP Rengar, I guess, or AD Rengar, and I can wreck face. But I'm very bad at transitioning how fed I am as Rengar into winning the game. Because, you know, in my opinion, Rengar, you know, specifically, you can kill one target, but then there's 4 other targets to deal with. So Rengar, in my opinion, isn't the best champion to do that, but that might just be me. And this is what you're going to have to do yourself. Kind of realize what champions can you carry on, win the games on, etc. So I've realized this, so I've played a lot less Rengar than I ever have in this season. I'm now playing more Lee Sin, now obviously now top lane, and I'm being a lot more successful than if I just played my kind of favourite champion to play, which is Rengar. So that's where I say be smart about what you main if you have any aspirations of being higher rated. If you don't, if you literally just want to play this game for fun, then you know, if that was me, I would just play Rengar, or a lot of Rengar anyway, because that is what I'd enjoy. So that's pretty much that. So as for the whole one-trick pony versus champion pool malarkey, that, you know, there's a constant like little battle going on. A lot of people know kind of what side I'm on. I respect and value a player a lot higher if they have a champion pool instead of being a one-trick. Being a one-trick has its benefits. You know, you should, in theory, win your lane every game if you do get that champion. because you've played it so much. But there are a lot of negatives that go towards being a one-trick. You know, if you're basically useless if you don't get your role or champion, if it gets banned out, if it gets picked by someone else. If you have any aspirations of going in a ranked 5s team, then you're forcing your ranked 5s team to play a certain comp around that one champion. In tournaments, you're going to get banned out. There's a lot around being a one-trick that is bad, but if you enjoy that, then go with it. You know, I'm not telling you not to be a one-trick. If that's what you enjoy, go ahead and do it. But to me, I respect a player that has a champion pool of every role of the game. And sure, like me, I hate playing support, but I do have supports that I can play. And that's what I respect. I respect a player that has that ability to play every role, because it's harder. It's harder to be a player that plays all 5 roles than just focus on one role or one champion. But what I'd say to somebody that is either watching this and you're new to League of Legends, or let's just say you're quite bad at League of Legends. I usually don't like using the word bad. For the sake of this video, I will. If you fall in this category of new or bad, then what I'd suggest is basically narrowing your champion pool to the bare bones. And what I mean by that is like 1 champion per role, and maybe 2. Just because if you are just learning how to get the basics of League of Legends, it's so much harder to learn the basics if you keep moving your champion pool around. Focus on a few champions, learn them very well, and then you can learn the basics. Then you can expand your knowledge while playing them champions that you already know. And once you get more comfortable with the basics, once you know how to roam and you know where to ward and all these little things that you pick up on the way, then expand your champion pool when you're comfortable. And then again, after a little while, you can expand it again. Now, and then at one point of this, a lot of people will say, what about the meta? You know, the meta is such a commonly used phrase. You know, I mention it quite a lot. LCS casters might mention it every game. What about the meta? You know, I love playing, you know, an example, someone goes, I love playing Brand mid, but he's not, you know, meta. I'd say this, in solo queue, it pretty much doesn't matter what the meta is, as long as you're playing a champion in a strong role for that champion. So I don't mean playing like Shaco support, because that's just really trolly. If you want to play Shaco, play him in the jungle, that type of thing. If you want to play a champion, play it in its strongest role. But it doesn't matter if a champion is popular or not. You know, again, I'll use the example of Shaco. He's not a competitive pick. He's been picked maybe 1 or 2 times ever in competitive play. The last one I can remember was Kikis from, what was it, Unicorns of Love? It might have been a different team, but I think it was Kikis. He played it once and they actually won from memory. But Shaco's not a meta champion, but you can play him, especially in solo queue, but you can play them occasionally just to surprise different opponents. Be like, whoa, I don't know how to play against that champion. Now this is even more evident in solo queue, because solo queue, let's be honest, is not the best quality of League of Legends. You know, even where I am in Diamond, people make mistakes all the time. You know, in the end of the day, one team has to win, one team has to lose. There's going to be one team that gets fed, most likely. So that it means the other team is making a lot of mistakes. So it literally doesn't matter what champions you play in solo queue, as long as you're playing them strong and you play them well, because you can just counter on their mistakes on any champion you play. Now, the one thing I will say is, if you are low rated, especially, and your champion pool is a very weird and obscure champion pool, then you are not helping yourself. People always throw examples at me going, you know, you don't rate Teemo, you don't rate Yorick, and then they link me some challenger Yorick main. It's like, yes, that is completely normal. He plays Yorick to that standard. You can get to that. You can get to challenger with any champion in this game. But the average Yorick player isn't going to be a challenger level Yorick. If you're a silver player stuck in silver, you complain that you're silver and you're playing Yorick, you're limiting yourself because of the champion you're playing, because Yorick isn't a strong pick. Yes, that challenger person has made him worked because he knows that champion inside and out. Now, another thing I really want to briefly touch upon, and I know this is all about champion pools, basically, this video, and we will be continuing on this topic, but is the whole premise around mastering a champion. I just kind of want to get this out there because a lot of people have the complete wrong definition of mastering a champion, in my opinion. So use me as an example. I've been playing this game for 5 years. I've played Lee Sin for about 4 of those years, and I'd say my Lee Sin is very, very, very strong when I'm playing well on him. Probably nearly, like, if I'm playing my best, I'm probably nearly unstoppable on Lee. I'll always do mechanically, you know, good things and everything. Have I mastered Lee Sin? Hell no. I have got so much more to do on him, so much more to learn. My consistency needs to get better. And if I truly mastered Lee Sin, I would play Lee Sin so much that I'd be challenger easily. And that is the point I want to make. don't throw around that you've mastered a champion until you've got to the highest stage of the game. You know, as I've said, if you play a champion, like, say, one champion or your one-trick pony, you should be able to get Challenger if you've truly mastered that champion. And, you know, examples you can throw out there straight away. You know, Box on Riven. He truly has mastered Riven because, you know, he can get Challenger with that champion solely. He's so good at that champion. Skara used to be a master of Katarina, Challenger level Katarina. Hotshot on Nidalee, master level Nidalee player. These are the type of players that I would put the master, you know, mastered of that champion rank to, because it's a very hard thing to master a champion. You literally have to know everything. So don't go throwing around going, I've mastered that champion now, I'm going to move on to my next champion to learn. You know, be very careful with using that phrase, because it's a statement that only a handful of people have actually truly mastered a champion. What I'd say is you can be good at a champion, like my Lee Sin. I'm good on Lee Sin, but I haven't mastered him. I still got more to learn. And yes, I can move on, and I have moved on to other champions to learn to that kind of standard, but I could always go back and learn more on him. So yeah, I just really quickly want to point that out, because so many people mention to me all the time of, oh, I've mastered this champion, but I'm only in silver. If you've truly mastered that champion, you'd probably be Challenger. So that's pretty much that simple. Furthering on to our points of champion pools anyway. So the biggest example I can give of basically a good champion pool is, well, not example really, but a theory of a champion pool is basically mine. Now, I'm not calling myself the perfect player. I'm far from the perfect player. But my champion pool has been all over the place the last year. But what I'd say, I'm going to use myself as a Season 3 example. So when I was Diamond 1, my champion pool was very limited. I still played a lot of champions, but when I was very serious about League, I maybe played about 4 champions in each role. But maybe my main role, which at the time was top lane, I maybe played 10. 2 Diamond 1 standard, and then every other role I played, you know, maybe 4 champions, 2 Diamond 1 standard. And that is what I'd kind of say, is have... When you get to a rating that you're like, yes, I'm happy with this rating, then you can expand your champion pool. But if you are wanting to climb, narrow your champion pool to maybe about 4. Maximum, I'd say 4 per role that you don't main. And then, yeah, go mental with your main role if you want to. If you're comfortable with learning a lot of champions at the same time, or if you've played this game for a very long time that you have the base knowledge on all champions anyway. Like, technically, if we take my champion pool, for example, right now, I could say my champion pool is every champion in the game, because I have knowledge of every single champion, I know how to play every single champion, but it's not going to be that, and you should never try to make your champion pool every single champion in the game, because that's pointless. What I'd recommend, and again, a rule of thumb, is never play something new in Ranked. That is a terrible idea. Like, trust me, never do it, because in the end of the day, Ranked is where you go to try hard. And I hate when people in Ranked say, oh, you're tryharding. Obviously, we're tryharding. It's Ranked. If you want to go have a casual gaming experience, go play normals. But in Ranked, play what you know. Have your champion pool. A good bit of advice would have be a notepad, like a sticky note on your desktop. Put your champion pool on there, and yes, you shouldn't really forget your champion pool, but it's a nice reminder of what you should be playing. Now again, let's go into how to build a champion pool, because some people don't even know how to do this. So, identify what champions you're good at, and you can basically just go from there. Now the biggest bit of advice I can give, and it's one that a lot of people don't really think about, is make your champion pool when you're not on your computer. A lot of people are going to go, wait, what? So to me, you should know what champions you're good at in League of Legends, and when you're on your computer, especially if you're logged into League of Legends, you have all your match history, you have your statistics right on the screen. It's very, very, very easy to overthink things, and you're like, alright, my top champion pool is Renekton, Darius, and Gnar. Oh, wait a minute, but I played Mundo the other day, I'm going to add him as well. That's just overcomplicating it. If you go off and, you know, go into a different room in the house, have a bit of pen and paper, and go, right, my champion pool is this. You will know what champions you're good at, or you should make your champion pool off the computer, because then you are literally only playing the champions you know you are good at. You're not relying on any stats or win rates or any of that. You just know which ones you're good at. And then once you have that, you have all the champions that you know you're good at on a notepad or a piece of paper, then go on your computer and then start looking at the win rates. Don't like completely change what you've put on the piece of paper or pen. So go, okay, my champion pool is Mundo, Gnar, Darius, and Renekton, let's just say them 4, you now go on your computer, you look up your win rates and go, oh wait, my Darius win rate is like only 10%. Maybe I'm just going to cross him out. And do like that. You know, to me, it's a good idea because, again, if you're making your champion pool while you're on the computer, you'll overthink it. Go very basic when you're making a champion pool, and you'll actually find you have a stronger champion pool. So that's pretty much it. That is what I wanted to talk about today, as it's a question that I get in nearly every video. Or should I play this? Is this champion good to main? And again, just to kind of emphasize the point that I first had in this video, never listen to people that tell you to main a champion. Main what you want to main, but also main what is strong. So don't play some random trolly pick and complain about what rating you are. Main a champion you enjoy, but in its strongest role. So that's it. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. So like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, and in the comment section below, discuss this topic about what champions you main, how did you find them, any tips you have maybe for them champions, and then also a topic that you want me to cover maybe next week. So that's it. As I said, like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.